No one talks about how much pressure is on men to be providers and to take care of their families and to make sure that everything is okay, even when they're not. You know, there's this stigma for men that all we got to do is provide, put your head down and get to work. And that's all we do. There's no time for men to have emotions. There's no time for men to feel anything or not be okay. And I want to get into that today. Let's rock. I'm 39. I'm a husband. I'm a father. And most of my adulthood, I've spent it just trying to make sure that everybody is okay around me. You know, even when I'm going through my darkest moments, I just know that as a man, as a provider, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what men are supposed to do. Men aren't supposed to have feelings. Men aren't supposed to feel any way. They're supposed to just get up and get shit done. And most of my adulthood, that's all I've done. That's been all my adulthood. I've spent it just trying to make sure that my family is good. And I'll be honest, there's moments in my life where I'm just like, I'm questioning myself. I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, am I messing everything up? Am I doing what I'm supposed to? Am I doing enough? And it can get tough, man. It can get tough. It's definitely a mental game, because when you start doubting yourself, just like I said before, when you doubt yourself or you have any type of negative thoughts, it's so quick. At the drop of a dime, things can just change. Things can just, your whole mental, your whole day, your whole week, your whole month can just flip. And all that happened was one bad thought or one bad day, and it could just turn things around, especially as men, because there's so much pressure on us every day just to be providers, just to make sure that we have our shit together. And if we don't, automatically we just feel like we're failing. And it's tough, man. It's tough mentally. It's tough mentally. As men, I feel like we were taught to carry all the weight on our own shoulders. And we're taught that we don't need help. We shouldn't need to ask for help, and I don't even think we're taught that by just, anybody. It's not like a teaching that somebody verbally said. I think it's just visually, and just what we see, as we grow and we see all the men around us, or all the men that are on TV, or all the men that are just in society. This is what men are supposed to do. When you're a real man, this is what you're doing. And if you can't hold that weight on your shoulders, are you even a man? And those are the pressures that we carry every day, and it's a heavy weight. And sometimes men have feelings. Sometimes men are going through things, and if we're supposed to be the whole rock for the whole family, we're supposed to be the reason why everybody's okay. How can we express that we're not okay? How can we come to you and say, I'm not doing good, I need help? It's one of the biggest challenges for men and for myself personally. Like, I've always had a hard time in admitting that I need help, or admitting that I'm struggling in any way, mentally, financially, anything. Those burdens and those weights, as a man, you don't ever want anybody to know that you feel lesser. As a man, you have to be confident. You're supposed to be confident, and anything else feels like you're failing. So I think that for men, we need to get out of this. It's like a macho man status or ego. I don't know what it is, but you know there's times in my life where I've been going through it and I'm challenging and fighting myself. I'll even keep things from my wife, because it's just, I don't even want to put that burden on her to feel the stress that I'm feeling. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a battle every day to just make sure that I don't have to put that stress on my wife or on my kids or on anybody in that matter. It's a tough battle. And yeah, like, we really, as men, we really have to get out of that, because there, as I've grown, I've had moments in life where I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who to turn to. I don't know who to even ask for help. And when I finally find that one person who I could talk to, and when I stop hiding from the truth and the reality, and I let it go, it's like it's like being renewed. You know, the weight that you can carry that's so unnecessary just from not expressing yourself is crazy. And I don't know, some people I know in life, I wonder to myself, like, how does your mind not kill you? How does your mental space not like take you out? Because me, when I'm down and I'm feeling out, I just, it's like, yo, if I didn't have a family, I don't know where I'd be at, because there's some moments in life where my mental space has me like fucked up. You know what I mean? Dead ass. And it's a battle every day to get up and get out and get going. But as a man, I just tell myself, like, it'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll figure it out. And we gonna stay on our feet. Just get up and get going. That's it. I got a family. I can't mope and drown in my sorrows. I gotta go, no matter if it's still in the back of my mind or not. And letting it go, and having somebody you could talk to, or just anybody, just letting it go. It's like a relief. It's like taking an Advil when you have a sore shoulder or something like that. It completely helps, man. It's heavy. It's like medication. It's like medication. So, like, some of the things that men deal with, the pressures that, or the weight that men carry is, one of the heaviest weights is financial. The financial weight of making sure that everything is paid, making sure that everybody has food, everybody has clothes, everybody has everything that they need in life. And then on top of that, trying to give your kids and your family a little bit extra, giving them some things that they want in life. You know what I mean? And that could be a heavy load. Sometimes I feel like, for men, the the biggest pressure is financial. The biggest stress comes from financial. I don't know, I seen these stats online, and it's like, it boggles my mind, because at first, when I was younger, I would think, man, as men, like, we can't think like that. There's no way men are out here, you know, committing suicide and doing all this stuff because of mental health. Like, what's mental health? You know what I mean? Like there's no way that mental health can take somebody out. And then as I grew and I started, more money, more problems, they call it. And it's like, as I started making more money and I started making bigger investments and dealing with certain things and doing bigger business, problems just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of those problems are literally financial. Like, in my life personally, I always say to my family, I always say, like, all I need is a little bit more money and I'll be good. I'll be the happiest man on the earth. But I think that most men have that same issue. Like, that's just it. If we have all the money in the world, how can we not be happy? You know what I mean? That's what it seems like, right? I mean, for me personally, when I say that, it's because the rest of my life is complete. The rest of my life, I'm happy. I'm blessed, right? I just wish I had a little bit more money and a little less bills. As I've grown over the years, I've realized that providing isn't only financial. You know, there's other aspects to being a provider, like the aspects of, being a good husband, being a present father, you know, um, making sure that everybody's emotionally okay, physically okay. Um, there's so many things that, as a provider, you need to provide, and it can get draining, right? We're always the ones worried about that. You can ask a man how he's feeling, and 9 times out of 10, that man's gonna say, I'm all right, no matter what they're dealing with, no matter how deep of a hole they're in, or how much stress they've been building up for the last whoever knows how many years, months, time that has passed. But they will never fold. A real man will never fold and tell anybody what type of things he's dealing with, right? He's never gonna say No, I'm not good. I'm not good. But that's got to change. I think that as men, we should be able to admit when we're going through things. It shouldn't be embarrassing. Why should you be embarrassed that you're dealing with shit? Everybody goes through shit, man. Everybody in the world goes through shit. Doesn't matter how much money they got, doesn't matter how happy they are or how depressed they are. Everybody deals with shit. So we should be able to come out and say that we're dealing with pressure, we're dealing with stress, we're dealing with something without us feeling like we're lesser. If you're a
You
man
know,
watching this and you feel like you should be further ahead by now, you know, maybe you're not behind at all. Maybe it's just you're carrying more weight than anybody can even see, right? And if nobody's told you this lately, just know you're allowed to be tired because real men, real men get tired too. Trust. Salute.